tire spin. Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is just going to be a quick video of, and I probably should have included this in the last video. So I mentioned in the video transmission adapting for the dual clutch automatic Audis, and a lot of people asked what it was, and I should have probably shown a guide or at least a how-to for those of you guys that are at home that have never done it before. If you have Vcds, which is the program that we use, I'll put a link in the description. Here's a screenshot of the format. And we use a cable that's kind of like plug and play. Let me see. So when you order your VCDS cable, there's different packages that you can get. There's like unlimited VIN, meaning you can scan and do this whatever you want. You can even create yourself a little side business by doing things for people if you wanted to. Or you can get minimum VIN, which is like, I think it comes with a handful of cars that you're able to use it on, meaning, you know, for the lifespan. What if you're somebody that has 1 million cars, you might want to get the unlimited VIN package. Anyway, we use this along with the USB cable and on a laptop to plug into both the older Audis and the newer Audis, but specifically for the newer cars, there's a lot more features. You can change characteristics like window roll up when you hold the button on your key fob. You can change characteristics, how bright your lights are. You can probably even do that now with the menu in the cars. That's how easy it is to interface with the newer stuff. But this is mainly for settings. So you reset your oil lights, you check codes, check faults. If you want to check like air intake temperatures on your car to see where she's running at, you can do that here with your stock ECU setup. So we're going to use what used to be called Vagcom, which is now called just VCDS, on the RS3, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this on your RS3/TTRS. We'll be also doing another video on Vagcom/VCDS mods that you can do to improve your launch, to improve your racing characteristics, and these are simple, easy mods that you can do on your car. We'll be doing that in a later video, just showing that and showing maybe the benefits versus what you're losing in terms of when you get the car stock on the launch. And we'll get more into that in another video. Anyway, on to us checking our trans, adapting it, and seeing where it goes. And then we'll do a quick drive. So you're going to hit select for select control module. It's going to bring you to like 30 different things that you can look at a little bit more in depth. And we'll go over the other functions too and what you could do. And again, Vagcom mods that you could do to the car to help you launch off the line, especially at the track. Go to auto trans. It's going to pick it up in red. You're going to go to basic settings. Make sure you click on basic settings. Alright, so you're going to go to the front. You're going to go to reset clutch for characteristic curve. Okay, this is going to reset. Put your foot on the brake. Hit go. It's going to do it really quick. Finished correctly. Alright, so you want that to come up, finish correctly. You hit stop. Once it's done finishing correctly, you're going to go down. You're going to hit to basic settings of transmission, okay? Let's close this, whatever this is just popped up. Once you go to basic settings, don't get scared. You're gonna hear the car clanking or the transmission going in and out of gears, just banging. Some have said that it's been really, really rough. Others say they can't hear it at all. It's a little different for every car, but mostly you're gonna hear some clanking, some moving around. Don't freak out. Let it do its basic setting update. So again, foot on the brake, and then you're gonna come here, hit go, and it's gonna say running. And you'll feel it. You'll feel it clanking and moving. The RPM note might change a little bit only because it's engaging the transmission left and right, but you're holding the brake. Why? I don't know, but you're holding it. I think it's basically because maybe it puts it in gear for a quick second, so it doesn't want the car to jolt. And this gives it more of a steady balance, like you know the car's not going to move, so it's a more accurate alignment. So the process of this, or I guess I could say, there you go, you see the car's kicking a little bit. I don't know if you guys can hear that, it's pouring rain outside, but the car's kicking, it's shuddering. Now I hit finish completely there. It said finish correctly, so we're good to go. We're gonna hit stop. But I want to go over the purpose of this. So for those of you guys with aftermarket or those of you guys with stock clutches, and you're beating up the car like I am, right? You're wearing clutch material, okay? Especially for those of you guys that are still developing software, the clutch is slipping, or you guys are making a lot of power where no matter what kind of software you got, you're still spinning the clutches and heating them up real quick, right? This is gonna realign your clutch basket to be that much tighter. All right, and it's going to give you that much more of a consistent launch. So this is a learning lesson for me only because I wasn't doing this before. I did it like once every few weeks. Hank, even though he was running aftermarket clutches, he said when he was running stock clutches, he did this every run or every track event, but more than likely every run just because of how much heat and how much abuse the clutches take. So All right, guys, so now that we've adapted our transmission, we're gonna be driving it around a little bit just to see how she's doing. As you guys know from our previous video that we've done, I had clutch failure due to O-rings on a standpipe, which is these little standpipes, little plastic standpipes with O-rings on them, and they go inside the transmission and they help regulate where the fluid goes and how it goes. That got torn up with high pressure since we're running aftermarket clutch pressure, and we've been beating on the car for the last year and a half. I'd say, yeah, about a year and a half now, I've been absolutely just romping on this car, and that's what happens. Anyway, quick drive to see what happens, see how she drives, what's the characteristics of it. You'll hear some faults because I still have my Kirky racing seat, so the airbag chime will come on. I still got to put the interior back together, but we still have a lot more racing to do, so it's kind of like do I put the interior back together for a couple weeks and then strip it out again? It's so much easier to sit in the Kirky, and I won't lie to you, driving in the Kirky every day is not bad at all. I just put the passenger seat in because I don't have a Kirky passenger seat, so this way, you know, if anyone wants to get in the car, me and Salvador are doing logging, or if I go pick up a friend or whatever the case may be, I have a secondary seat. But now that I think about it, I should probably get a Kirky for the passenger seat, maybe give people some rides in the quarter mile or maybe in the half mile for a future video. Anyway, let's it's raining now. It's pouring rain. We're not going to go too crazy, but just to drive around town. And you may hear the exhaust a little bit more pronounced because of the back seats being out, the bottom seat, the rear carpet's not in. So there's a lot of insulation added to that that's built into those pieces. So you may hear the exhaust a little bit more rampant. But right now we have, there's the airbag light. Now we have our AWE track system, which we'll be doing a future video on within the next couple days when the weather is a lot better. So this way I don't get any of the camera equipment wet. But we switched from the switch path to the AWE track, and we'll be showing you guys what that sounds like. At least you get a little preview of what it sounds like inside the car, but we'll be doing outside sounds, launching, some roll racing, and some other things so you guys get an idea of what it sounds like. So it'll just be an AWE tuning track exhaust video just for you guys. So we're gonna let her start up and warm up for a little bit, and then once she gets the right oil temp, we'll go out and just cruise around. All right, guys, now that she's warmed up a little bit, we'll be going for a ride and checking things out. So we're gonna see exactly how the car reacts. This is like day 3. Yesterday I put like 100 miles of driving around just to kind of break in the clutch. Today we're gonna do some driving around, and nothing too extreme, only because it's pouring rain outside. And just see how she feels, she sounds, if she's healthy. You know, again, just a reminder, you know, I have one of the seats out, so you may hear a fault come up, which, boom, there you go, there's one of them, for the airbag light and whatnot, and that's totally normal. But then again, I have this car so heavily deconfigured for the track. Yesterday I had the drag radial still on, so I went in through the R888Rs, which I don't know how they're going to react in the rain, but we'll see. For those of you guys with experience with R888Rs or R888s, let me know in the comments below. What do you think it's going to be? You know, so far cruising out of the neighborhood, you know, the transmission feels very receptive. Almost feels like I'm driving, again, like I said in my earlier reviews, a stock RS3. What you guys got to understand is racing these cars, probably the most expensive aspect is going to be the transmission, aside from the motor, right? So if you're running stage 2 and you're going out there for the occasional drag race, you're going half-mile racing, you know, keep in mind, you're probably not going to tear into the clutches because you're not making the wheel torque and wheel horsepower to really overspin them. But, you know, when you're taking this car that has so much potential and you're putting it to its max limit and heating it up at the track, things are going to wear abnormally, okay, guys? So you take that into account. So I've got plenty of emails, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, you know, I'm so worried about my trans now that I've seen you have this issue. Don't be worried about it. You know, for a year and a half straight of drag racing, which, by the way, no company, aside from probably RS Motorsport, no company out there has more miles on the track than this car, than we do, than here at Malaka Motorsports. You know, we spend nearly every other weekend drag racing, half-mile racing. Fontana had a beautiful roll racing event. We did that, stage 2, and then big turbo. The car has 17.6 thousand miles on it now. I guarantee you 15,000 miles of those, or maybe even less, maybe less than that, maybe I'm over exaggerating, is on the track or at a racing event or down in Mexico racing. We've really put this car and beaten it down to the ground. And the one failure that I've had is clutches after a year and a half, and I'm making almost double what the car came with, you know? Wheel torque, I'm not making much more than what the car came with. I'm making about 520, 517, because that's where the motor is happy, you know, according to, you know, the team at RS Motorsports and the research that they've done. But I'm making roughly a little over 700 wheel on kill, and that's a lot of power to put through these cars, a lot of power to put through the motor. But the 5-cylinder motor is proven to be very stout, very sturdy, and can take a beating. The transmission too. I mean, to be honest with you, if you think about the amount of launches we've done on drag radials, at races, the downshifting, we raced that Weisstech, you know, McLaren. We were roll racing on the way to Mexico. I was downshifting, beating up the stock clutches, and it still held up really well. Now, I still started slipping on the top end, just like I did at Omega Motorsports, and you can hear some kind of like janky shifting going on in the transmission, but I mean, for a year and a half, it's really not that bad. So, do you have anything to be worried about? No. For those of you guys that have big turbo cars, do you have anything to be worried about? No. You do proper cooling, don't do back-to-back runs like I did. I did like 3 or 4 back-to-back runs, I think a shift sector last year on both events. I did back-to-back racing at Omega Motorsports. Even when it was giving me transmission faults, I would shut it off and then start the car again and then go back out for a run, and then the computer would get pissed off halfway down the track and I would just keep sending it. And that's why, again, those discs, and I'll show you the screenshot now, look so toasted. So, for those of you guys with big turbo setups, just make sure you do the normal. You change your oil out regularly. I do it every 2,500 miles or after every racing event. Change your transmission fluid if you're going above 20, 30,000 miles, and especially if you're racing all the time too. It's subject to being burnt and being eaten through too. So a good change in your DSG fluid will go a long way. And so far, shifts are very, very crisp. Shifts feel really, really good. And again, I haven't really beaten on it only because, and I'm gonna leave traction on only because it's the rain, but the car feels good. And it's good to have the car back moving on its own power. Oh, that's a little tire spin. Okay. All right, so overall, guys, enjoy your car. Don't forget to have fun with it. Don't feel freaked out if things happen like this. Yes, could it be pricey to take it to a shop and have them pull the motor and trans just for clutches? Sure, but remember, you're not buying a minivan. You're buying an RS3, and especially if you're beating on it, expect some maintenance you're going to have to do to keep it at its utmost top performance. But to be honest with you, in the grand scheme of things, a $20,000 transmission, because that's roughly around the price what Audi charges for it, versus $5 O-rings ain't a bad trade-off. You know, if you could do your own labor, if you got a lift, we don't have a lift, at least not yet. So I can't see us pulling the motor and trans in this car in the future unless we pick one up, because if you saw in the last video how easy it was for them to just drop the subframe as opposed to pulling apart the front end, I'd like accessibility like that. You may want to just understand that you may have to replace small things like that. And O-rings and clutches are nothing in comparison to blowing up a trans or blowing up a rear diff or blowing up a motor, you know? And I think I'm the perfect example of that. I've really beaten the crap out of this car. SoCal Euro, every major drag event that we've had here in the West Coast, half-mile racing, and the car's still moving. No smoke coming out the exhaust. Healthy. Sounds pretty good. And of course the AWE, you know, track exhaust, the first time I'm really driving it and listening to it, it sounds flawless. Anyway, guys, this was just a quick video showing you guys how to adapt your transmission, showing you guys what to look out for. And again, this is still very new to me. We adapted the transmission a couple times before, and we were told that was kind of like a trick just to keep the stock clutches fresh, but we probably should have been doing it more often. So those of you guys with hybrid and big turbos, adapt your clutches a little bit more often, after every run if you have to. It just keeps things more compact and tight. Now, if you rip an O-ring and you notice the transmission starting to freak out and you notice some issues, don't be like me and continue racing. You may be able to save those stock clutches and just replace those standpipes with the standpipe kit's like 79 bucks, and it comes with all new little pipings and all new O-rings and everything. And then you don't have to buy clutches like I did. Luckily, Hank had a set from a customer that went with upgraded clutches, and it had like 250 miles on it. So I ended up going with, I mean, it's technically new, but the guy just literally drove it to Hank's shop, RS Motorsport, and dropped it off and upgraded everything, fully built, all that jazz. So I kind of took advantage of that opportunity and bought a set of discounted stock clutches, which now grab beautifully. And also, before I kind of kill this video, keep in mind, I was racing for about a good year without trans software. So that big turbo setup was making over 500 wheel torque, and I was slipping that clutch with no trans software. So as soon as Custom Code was able to release some, we upgraded. So I can imagine now with a brand new stock set, with software from the beginning, what kind of times we're gonna be running. I'm really excited for that, guys. Anyway, I don't mean to babble, I'm sorry. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, hit like, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us. It lets us know whether or not you guys like the content that we're putting out and some of the things that we're doing. And it also helps us grow, guys. We appreciate all the support, the comments, everything thus far. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. We're gonna start kicking it up with some more content this week. So we'll have the AWE track exhaust video coming out. What else do we have? More B5 updates, fueling updates for Stavros' car. He's relocating some things on the intercooler. He's gonna be showing you that in his video. So I'm really excited to kind of showcase that on the channel. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, guys. It's February now. Racing season starts soon. The weather's gonna start getting better. So we're gonna have a good time, and I think it's gonna be with all the cars. We're gonna hopefully try to get the B5s up and running and competing, and hopefully they hold up. Anyway, guys, I think I'm done. I'm done talking. I'm done. Love you guys. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you guys in the next video. I'm George, this is Malaka Motorsports. Thanks for watching.